everyone, it's old Guardian here. It's Molten Core time again. It's March 2025 and I went through the open queue in Molten Core once again. Not many changes really. The major change is Ragnaros leader had its healing nerfed, so I have a bit of a new Ragnaros build for Geddon. But other than that, I have adjusted a little bit something here and there, and I'm going to show you a couple of alternative comps also for the trickier bosses, but pretty much run-of-the-mill stuff. Anyway, let's take a look at everything I used in Molten Core, and I'll also show gameplay with all of those. So I did Lucifron with Anubarak, and I did Magmadar with Sylvanas, then I used Cairn for Gehennas and Shazzrah, I used Drakizat for Garr, Ragnaros for Baron Geddon, Lucifron for Golemagg, and finally I used Emperor Torisan for Ragnaros. This is the Anubarak build I used. I don't have a wildcard on Anubarak. Wildcard would be really useful here because you would want to have Execute. It just makes things easier. Execute is not super mandatory. I mean, you can play without it, but I wanted to include it. I have enough levels on it anyway, so I was able to just off-slot it and go forth. So Anubarak, don't get your Anubarak stolen, by the way. Then you can just get some of those unbounds and some of those beasts and undeads, and there's going to be lots of beetles and then some executes, and that's going to handle all of the dominators. If you don't have Anubarak, my other favorite for Lucifron is Maiev, and I'm using this kind of build with Maiev against Lucifron, so I have some unbounds that are going to deal some damage. I can mine a little bit. I have this execute is super sweet against Lucifron, and I have harpies that can take care of some of those molten giants and some of those fire elementals. You could also use a banshee, but I prefer harpies for this one. The second boss is Magmadar, and I'm using Sylvanas. Sylvanas is just phenomenal against Magmadar. That arrow just flies and flies. I went back to using meat wagons this time. Meat wagon can outrange the aggro range of those hounds and do some fun things, and also dropping some executes. But nothing too much has changed. I truly enjoy the picklock bandits against Magmadar because you can take chest, and if your partner takes their tower, then you're able to send your picklock bandits actually also on the other side from their tower, so that you will be able to get even more chests. In the third boss, Gehennas and Shazzrah, I've been using Cairn, and this time I went with Cairn with Gargoyle. So resistant Gargoyle attacking there. I have the safe pilot that can take out some of those elite flame wakers so that you won't get the flame waves. And I have Meat Wagon because Meat Wagon outranges Shazzrah's aggro range, so then you can have the Gargoyle tanking hitting Shazzrah, and then you can have Meat Wagon coming in behind. Shazzrah can only deal single target damage as long as there's only flyers around. As soon as there's a ground mini somewhere nearby, then Shazzrah is going to move into AoE, which also hits flyers. So if your partner sends a lot of ground minis, then your minis are going to take damage faster. But if they don't, then this Gargoyle strategy is pretty sweet. I have also used Molten Giant instead of Gargoyle. That's safer if your partner just insists on using ground minis, but this one is really sweet if you can just do it with flyers. Then for Garr, I used Drakizat. So this is pretty much self-sustained build, so I can defend the other side with my Rime Skeletons, and I can make a push with Drakizat. And then I have the Shaman. Shaman can make Drakizat armored and heal it up. I have the Witch Doctor with Spirit Ward, so I can give some shield, so protect myself against the Earth Elemental explosions. I can mine with the Dark Eye Miner. I have Safe Pilot here to counter some of the trolls. If you don't have a Drakizat that's worthwhile in attack, then you want to use something like a Scenarios or Tyrion build and just support the other side. And then the most interesting boss this cycle, which is Geddon. This is my current version of the Ragnaros build. I'm still thinking if I could improve it somehow. So far I haven't really figured out improvements, so I'm trying to make a Ragnaros, and I'm trying to level it up with the airdrop potions from the Griffin Rider, and I'm trying to heal it up with the heals from the Priestess with the Empowered Renew talent. Empowered Renew is important because it heals Ragnaros for 10% each time. Percentage-based healing, nothing to do with levels, just really wonderful. And pretty much the only way to properly heal Ragnaros now, after the healing nerf. But then you can't make it armored unless you also have a Shaman, and I don't have room for Shaman because I need a Miner. Then I need something that I can throw into various situations. I need something that can take out gargoyles and fire elementals. This could be a banshee. I slightly prefer harpies. And I need a gargoyle that can end Geddon. So just trying to build up a big Ragnaros, defend it, and then eventually go in with gargoyles and take out Geddon. If you don't have Ragnaros, then the second alternative would be Rend. And if you go with a Rend build, you want to go with something like this. So you have Miner, and then you can make resistant gargoyles or resistant Chimera. Chimera is super strong at taking towers. Also having some having some harpies here, and this could again also be a banshee. That's an alternative way. And I have quillboard that I can use to turn things around so that the harpies can get some better shots in or something, or I can retake some of the towers with that as well. The second to last boss is Golemagg, and aerial assaulting Golemagg is the way to go. So Chimera that can be resistant from Fairy Dragon, Dire Batlings to help it, then some Whelbecks that I can drop various places. I have a Quillboar. Quillboar, don't pull the Hounds. Don't pull the Hounds is really the important part in Golemagg. So I can use this to tank the tower, but I must ensure that it dies so it doesn't pull the Hound. I can also use this to tank Golemagg a little bit, and I can use this with Bramble Burst to reapply poison on Golemagg, so that's also wonderful. I have a polymorph here so that I can polymorph some of the enemy minis so that then my minis can kill them. That could also be a blizzard, for example. There's a few alternatives. And then the Usar minis are generally pretty good in this one as well. And finally for Ragnaros, this time I chose Emperor Torisan because I really like doing Emperor Torisan with Worgen here. Emperor Torisan with Hubris, rare Worgen in a boost slot, then it becomes 30 with Hubris, and 30 Worgen survives one hit from Ragnaros. So then my plan is to drop Whelbecks, Ragnaros will do the AoE splash, then I drop the Worgen, Ragnaros is going to hit the Worgen, Whelps are now shooting at it, Worgen will survive the first hit, and only after that is Worgen going to be killed. Then I have a Dark Miner that I can mine, I have Defiance Bandits with Picklock, so more gold from the chest, I have a Gargoyle that can deal with the Sons of Flame, and then for open queue I actually originally tried with the Ancient of War so that I could redirect some of those miners, but I realized that Banshee is actually better for the open queue, so that I can take some of the Core Hounds, I can take some of the Molten Giants, and I just so enjoy this Worgen build. But obviously you might not have Worgen, in which case you probably want to go in with the Jaina build against Ragnaros. So very similar, there's the Bandits, there's the Whelbecks, there's the Dark Miner, there's the Banshee, but here I also have a Blizzard, and then I have the Execute boosted if anything is possible to boost, and then Jaina can just handle everything. Sometimes I have also used a Gargoyle here instead of a Dark Miner. You could try that if you have some difficulties with the Sons of Flame. But that's pretty much Molten Core for open queue, and this is what it looks like taking down all of the bosses. So first up Lucifron, and I'm going in with Anubarak here. I'm with a Grommash partner. So first I would like to take out some of these Dominators. Anubarak is a little bit further away. I'm just trying to take it easy for now. Saving gold, getting ready to get Anubarak out there. And once I get Anubarak out there, then I can start fighting. I'm sending the Quillboar deep in the back so that it won't bother anybody for a while, and then just getting on that Dominator. And okay, I would actually need to get something. Oh, I got the Dominator down. I'm also able to execute the Dominator on the other side. So my partner's Dominator is down, and well, here we go. Anubarak is in action. I want to get that tower built, please. So let's drop some skeleton bodies out there. Try to get some damage in. Here we go, blasting a little bit. Here, when you get to the phase changes, you want to try to save some gold, especially with an Anub build, because you're going to lose your Anubarak, and then you're going to have to be able to get another one in. Now I might be sending this Anubarak a little bit too early, because now I have to consider, like, am I helping my partner or am I going to try things on my own? I decided to try to help my partner, and that was actually a little bit bad, because, oopsie, now there was a risk that my Anub could have gotten stolen. Luckily I was able to prevent that, just barely, but anyway. And here we go, now we get on top of that Dominator, and we will be able to take it down. Phew. Okay, I didn't play that quite as well as I could have, but it's okay. So now we have Anubarak going in, and another phase change will happen. I will want to have resources for that phase change. So here I'm waiting a little bit to send something against the Fire Elemental. being conservative with my resources because I don't know how much my partner is going to push here. Now I ended up losing the Anubarak, so I may have to play another Anub. That can get a little awkward, even if it's far away. If it's far away, it doesn't necessarily die to the board clear. It ends slightly below the towers, but then there's a risk that it's just going to get possessed. But there are lots of beetles out there, so some of the beetles should get possessed first, most likely. Alright, and then I'm able to send something out there to start fighting against the Dominator, and I decided I need to take out the Dominator on my side. I was a little bit scared. Just risking that Anub getting stolen was something I did not want to do. Here we go, then I'm helping a little bit on the other side, and we take the towers. Also, you can typically here just send the boss. Just attack the boss with everything, and it usually goes down. So taking towers is sort of optional. Now we're losing one of the towers, but I just don't mind anymore. I'm just dropping stuff at the boss. Because let's just kill the boss now. And pow pow pow. Boss dies. And next up is Magmadar. I'm doing this also with Grommash. It appears my Sylvanas there, Grom. And here I just want to grab that chest, and I want to grab that tower. Here I'm wondering a little bit on what to send where. I decided that Meat Wagon can support Sylvanas, so together they will be able to take the tower without getting hit, and I'm just sending a little bandits and troll to handle the earth elemental. And then I could target this a little bit better because it actually ends up hitting just one hound. Well, that was inconvenient. Be that as it may, it's gonna be fine. One hound is down, but it's going to get resurrected in no time. My partner has a bit of a hard time grabbing their tower. So what I would want to happen here is I need to try to help them a little bit somehow. I can send Sylvanas now right by the middle when the enemies are coming, so that Sylvanas will be able to handle enemies from both sides, and then I should be able to get the... Yes, now I got the picklock on the chest, so we got a whole chunk of gold, and from here... Yeah, now things start to look up, so... Execution time. Let's just execute and execute. Trying to figure out just what to execute. Executing that doesn't even do that much. I should execute, yeah, I definitely should execute on that side. That was good. Now we got the first phase change. We get some more hounds. Here I can use the picklock bandits on my partner's side because they have the tower, so all that sweet gold. Now if I cycle real quick, I could get even more sweet gold here. Let's try to get to that, and I'm able to cycle. I get another set of these bandits, and this is going to be beautiful. That's just gold, 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 and executions, and things are looking sweet. Oh, there's an earth elemental coming towards the base. Let's handle that with harpies. And only one hound remains right now. The Drake is going to grill my team, but that's okay. I have this pretty meat wagon dealing damage, looking really, really sweet. Last phase begins. Resurrections are going to happen. I might just drop some more executes there. And chests are here, so well. Sylvanas ended up taking that chest. I had used it to secure the tower, but I'm able to get one chest with the bonus coins. That's really beautiful. Sylvanas, I mean, skeleton party. If I'm a skeleton party against Sylvanas, oh, Sylvanas just beats them up so badly. And yeah, on this side too, Sylvanas, Grommash. The damage is just pouring in, and Magmadar goes down. Then we get to Gehennas and Shazzrah. Here I'm with a Baron Revender, which is actually a little bit inconvenient for my air strategy. because there's those, there's of course those skeletal mages coming from Rivendare, which could be a problem, but let's see. I'm conveniently on the right side. That's nice, because potentially I will be able to get really sweet, get the tower, attack Shazzrah. There's a lot of potential here. There is a Elite Flamewaker on the left side. I thought that my partner was going to get there, but then that Dark Iron Miner spawned and oh, the Flame Wave. Ouch. Well, that one hurt a little bit. But we have the tower. Now I need to be ready to take out the Elite Flamewaker on my side of the board. There it goes, it's down. And then now we don't have the tower on the left, so I will have to wait until Shazzrah comes back to the right side before I can engage it with my aerial troops. So that's what I'm waiting for here. Waiting for Shazzrah to start walking on the right side. I can see that Shazzrah is walking towards the right side. I can see that there's another Elite Flamewaker, but I decided that I'm just going to ignore it. I mean, if it shoots a flame wave down the side, then it shoots a flame wave down the side. It does kill minis in the middle as well, but I decided that that's worth it. I don't have to engage. My partner doesn't handle them. I don't have to. I have one side. I'm able to hold that side. I can help with the defense of the base, and we should be able to face Shazzrah away from the middle. And after that, life is really, really sweet. So here, getting that Elite Flamewaker down. Now I would need something. When my partner comes to rescue the tower, that's actually really sweet. Cairn is taking the middle tower. Alright, Shazzrah has retired to the top, and off we go. Here I believe that the Bat Riders will be able to kill this Flamewaker, and I'm right about that. Flamewaker goes down, and assault on Gehennas begins. There's cairns, there's gargoyles. I need to get my cairn stuck. It's fine, Cairn is going to get out there, and oh boy, Gehennas is dead. And now it's only Shazzrah, and you know, against Shazzrah, sending out the resistant gargoyle, sending out the meat wagon. That's going to be game very, very soon. So here the gargoyle is arriving. Shazzrah already struggling. There was a ground mini there, so that dealt a little extra damage that wasn't necessary. But it's gonna be fine. I was worried that the Pyromancer might start shooting at the gargoyle, so that's why I sent some support. Boom. Gehennas Shazzrah down. Next up is Garr. I often like to go here with scenarios myself as a support team, but this time I decided that I'm using an account that has the levels, so I might just go in with Drakizat. So here we go, Drakizat, let's go. Now I see that there's quite a bit of stuff coming on the right side, so I want to try to help my partner in defense a little bit. And that actually backfired a bit. Oh, and then another troll. I wasn't fast enough to handle that troll, so I managed to lose my first Drakizat. That's obviously not what I wanted to happen, but it's okay. I can now save some gold, and then I can get another Drakizat out there, and that Drakizat should still be able to get there before the Earth Elemental goes through, so they should all be fine. I also have a scenarios there. Now I get another Drakizat, this time with a Shaman, and I need to try to position my stuff on the left side so that I will be able to shoot at that Earth Elemental so that it doesn't get past me. And it didn't. Wonderful. And my partner is defending with chickens and Defiance Bandits quite well, so everything is looking sweet. And there goes the first push. Now I don't want to reinforce that push very much, because I only want this first push to get through the first phase. If it goes through 2 phases and we end up at the 3rd phase, well, actually here, because we're pretty high level 27 base, then we could go through all of the phases at once. That would be possible. But I still just don't want to reinforce that push. My partner has sent 3 copies of scenarios, so they are maybe of the idea that, hey, we're just going to push through phase 3 and then we're going to do another one, because there is an insta-kill effect, so unless they happen to have a cheat that in that deck, then this push will die. It is inevitable. You cannot prevent that from happening no matter what levels you have. And maybe we got a little bit lucky because we just barely did not make it to the last phase. So I'm sending another team straight from here. I would need to get something to... Actually, yeah, now I need something to bait the earthquake effect, if I can. With the earthquake killed the tower, there was an earthquake effect on the tower, and the next one should be coming. I probably now failed to bait it. Sometimes you can bait it with like a Dark Miner, so that it's your mini that's at the top spot, so it's closest to Garr, and then it gets the earthquake, so your death ball doesn't get the full power of the earthquake. Because now definitely my death ball has the full power of the earthquake on it. It's okay, now I can just reinforce the death ball. Now I want to get multiple Dragisats out there, because I really want to just get some damage in. Maybe it was not necessary for me to send another group of skeletal mages. I could have played a third Dragisat there, and I think that would have been slightly better. But I'm sending another Dragisat here. And the push is now reaching Garr. A couple of Dragisats are hitting Garr, and Garr starts to take damage. Might as well drop a safe pilot on it, and Garr just goes down. Alright, then we're up against Baron Geddon. The first 4 bosses were all one-shots. They went down with the first attempt. This is my 3rd attempt now at Geddon. I had twice. First I had a partner who tried to attack when Geddon reached the left side, even though we didn't have any towers, because I'm playing this Ragnaros build and I don't have a lot of power to take towers with this specific build, which means that, yeah, when my partner couldn't take towers, I definitely couldn't take towers. And then what happened was a push against Geddon with no towers in control, and that is not going to work. You can kill Geddon when Geddon comes up the left side for the first time, but you need to have control of at least the top 2 towers. And if you have control of the top 2 towers and the bottom right, then you're practically guaranteed to win. That's like the best case scenario. But if you don't have the top 2 towers, then you're going to need quite a bit of levels in order to beat Geddon when it comes up. So here I'm trying to get this Ragnaros going. So far, actually, I haven't been doing very well with that. As you can see, the Priestess healing doesn't show too much healing right now. I mean, the Priestess has the talent, so Priestess will cast the Greater Renew, the Empower Renew on Ragnaros, and that's going to give Ragnaros 10% health. But other than that, healing is a little bit limited. So here Priestess is doing its best to bring Ragnaros' health up. Ragnaros is getting some health, so this is looking alright. Getting more airdrop potions. Ragnaros is level 28 now. Of course, my Ragnaros also starts at a fairly low level at 25. But there's plenty of time in this one to get Ragnaros to a higher level. We actually now have the top 2 towers. Potentially we could have already pushed, I guess, in this specific situation. It's kind of fluid here. Like sometimes you are just able to push much earlier. It really depends on the level of map control. But with Ragnaros in play, it's always safe to build up the Ragnaros and then push close to overtime or even at the start of overtime. You're always safe to do that. So here we have Ragnaros at level 30. Looking good, looking good. Ragnaros now bigger than Geddon, and well, still take some damage from Fire Elemental though. Ouch, too many minis there. Too many minis in the same spot taking damage from the Living Bomb. And now there's a Gargoyle coming, and this time, as you can see, that Gargoyle actually hits really hard. Ragnaros is not armored, because I don't have room for both the Shaman and the Priestess here. That is a bit of a problem. I really would need to pay more attention to gargoyles. Either take them out with harpies or I would need to add a banshee. If I were to change the harpies for a banshee, I would mitigate the risk of living bomb, because there would be smaller groups of minis around. But I don't know. I've now managed to push a phase which is actually not good, because that means that we're under more pressure and Ragnaros is taking hits from all over the place, and now there's that gargoyle, and that gargoyle comes together with a drake, and that's really, really bad. Now the drake is gone. Ragnaros barely alive though. Yeah, pushing that single phase there was quite terrible. Well, I should have been more careful, I suppose. But Ragnaros is still alive, and I'm still cycling through the deck. I'm still working on getting these priestesses out here, and boom, there you could see the Greater Renew, 10% healing. Alright, things are looking quite okay. I want to drop the eggs when the gargoyle reaches the aggro range. Now let's drop some eggs out there. Those should now be able to take the tower, and they are. And then defending again with the harpies. Some solid defense. Then another empowered renew there. That was 10% health for Ragnaros again. Level 34 Ragnaros and still growing. Where's Geddon? Geddon is coming up. We could win this from here. This would be possible. But I'm a little concerned about the double drake coming, so maybe I should not have been. Ragnaros handled them quite well. That was another opportunity we had that we could have already pushed. Oh yeah. But generally it's always safe to wait a little with this Ragnaros plan. It should not be a problem. Ragnaros will get some levels. Ragnaros will be so hard to beat that nothing the enemy does will defeat the Ragnaros, hopefully anyway. Closing in on overtime. Right, well, we should get going by now at the latest, right? I think we should. Gargoyle going. I should also send a gargoyle. Or not. Is that gargoyle going to be able to get a face? Doesn't look like it can. I placed the eggs a little bit wrong. That was too bad. We need to get that face. So I will have to send a gargoyle here to get that face. And then we can either kill it there on top, or we can kill it on the right side. One or the other. We need to get the face here. There's the face. And then it's also possible that we just kill it on the right side. Yeah, probably killing it on the right side now. I think that's what this looks like. Ragnaros is doing well. Ragnaros is feeling healthy. All I need is the boss to get a little bit closer, and I can send a gargoyle on it. But now there's the flame swirl. Some missed timings. Some missed timings indeed, but let's fight a little bit. Oh, that living bomb. Ouch, that hurt. But now the boss is there. Now the boss has no other defenders around it. And we can get gargoyles on it. We're able to defend. Ragnaros is doing a phenomenal job defending, and we can just keep sending more gargoyles. And the boss is going to go down. So a little bit more chaotic than before perhaps, but still a valid strategy. Golemagg was also a little bit tricky. This took me 5 attempts, because on the first 4 attempts I was playing with ground minis, or my partner was playing with ground minis, and they insisted, no matter how I tried to avoid them, they always insisted on pulling the core hounds to the lane where my flyers are. There were some hilarious moments, like we survived for a very long time here, and I kept going to different lanes so that I would get out of the way, so that the Corehounds wouldn't be on the lane of my flyers, and I went to all 3 lanes and changed between them, and every single time my partner would pull the Corehounds to my lane. Every single time. So that was a pretty lucky, I suppose, that polymorph we managed to get rid of the pyromancer there. We can get some poison going. Now I'm a little bit doubtful whether we have enough here. I'm a little low on gold. We need to get those phases because the poison is cleared at phase changes. So we need to get through a phase and then we need to rebuild poison. And that is going to be a little bit tricky sometimes. Now I'm wondering, when do I need to renew the stacks? I choose to renew them here, which I'm not sure was ideal. But just dropping things that prevent anything from happening to the Chimera, and actually Golemagg just goes down. And finally Ragnaros. This took me 3 attempts. I started with the Ancient of War build, but I ditched the Ancient of War for a Banshee and then it went better. So here we go. Let's see what's going to happen. I have the Defies Bandits. I'm able to grab some chests. I'm trying to grab some gold when I can. A gargoyle that I can send. Now I would need to do something. So my partner goes on the right, so I want to send eggs to handle the Flame Wickers on the left. But I apparently also have to handle the Flame Wickers on the right. But luckily Malfurion was able to tank them long enough for the Worgen to handle them. So that went okay, I suppose. Gargoyles take the tower on the right side, left tower is up. My partner sent a miner on the right, on the left. That's really beautiful. Malfurion protection. That's sweet. Alright. Well, we do need to get rid of the Major Domo. So that hasn't been done yet. So I need to cycle a little bit so that I can find Worgen. Because here, Worgen is really beautiful. Don't drop Worgen right on top of Major Domo. Drop it a little bit further away. And then it's going to be able to get to Major Domo. It's going to be able to hit the Major Domo. And then pow. Oh, that was a nice phase change. There's an Emperor Torisan that's keeping the tower down. There's a Malfurion that is tanking tanking a Molten, casually tanking a Molten Giant. Alright. And now we can start to get on the Ragnaros. So this, I drop the Whelpex, splash, drop Worgen. Worgen hits Ragnaros. Ragnaros hits Worgen. Worgen is level 30, so Worgen lives through the first hit. So that being the idea there. My partner apparently also has a Worgen build with Malfurion. Which is sort of nice. It's not as effective anymore, sadly, because Malfurion nerfs did hurt that. But it can still get some things done. Alright, we're about to get the first phase done here. We probably shouldn't, because we don't have the right tower. I would have preferred if we had the right tower before we go for the phase. But it is what it is. We need to try to go in now. That wonderful job from the Malfurion. We really needed to get the Pyromancer down. So now we're going to be in a bit of a pickle. Because we didn't have the tower when the phase change came, so we're going to have a rough time defending against the Suns. But it's not impossible. We should be able to do it. Thinking of sending some reinforcements out there. They'll take out the Flame Waker, and then I managed to cycle through the Gargoyle. And the Gargoyles on the right side managed to take out the Suns and managed to take the tower, so that's good. I was a little bit too late with my Banshee there. Alright, we have one more Sun coming, and then we have a Molten Giant coming. Need to do something about the Molten Giant. I'm trying to distract the Molten Giant for a little while there with the Whelpegs, so that the Molten Giant wouldn't... Oh, we managed to lose the tower on the right, so now we're definitely a fairly rough moment. We gotta... The timing for the first phase change was a little bit wrong. Our position was not stable. And because our position for the first phase change wasn't stable, that means that now we have been very heavily on the defense. But we're working on it. So here, Malfurion Worgen doing beautiful work there. There's another Molten Giant coming. I'm thinking, what do I try to even steal? I decided that I actually need to get some Whelpex out there. Oh, but no, okay. You didn't see that. I did not steal a kobold. And even if I did, I meant to steal a kobold, right? Anyway. Alright, the defense is holding. Worgen doing a beautiful work here. Now I just need to get something on that Molten Giant. A little bit of... No. A little bit... Need to get rid of Flame Wicker. Okay. Well, that worked. And we can steal the Molten Giant on the left. So... Okay. I think we're in the clear now. Had some tough times there. The first phase transition, our position was not stable when the suns arrived, and that caused a cascading effect in which we just kept falling behind. But we were actually able to stabilize, which is quite remarkable. Obviously the levels helped. I mean that is a level 31 Malfurion right there, so levels help with stabilization. I really hope that we won't be able to take the tower, because I don't want us to take a tower. I want that giant to die, and it died, and that was beautiful. And now, again using Worgens defensively. My partner has dropped stuff on Ragnaros in the meanwhile, because you can see that Ragnaros' health is very low. I have been completely focused on defense. But now, with 45 seconds to go, with all that gold coming in, we're getting to a position where we can push the final phase. I'm trying to mine a little bit more before that. I'm trying to ensure that I have gargoyle and I have the means to use a gargoyle, defending the left side a little bit. And there's a bunch of stuff coming from the left, so I really want to defend that first. Overtime is closing in. Okay, my partner is pushing the face. And that means that I will need to get the gargoyle out there. I was hoping for a couple more gold before the phase change, but it's okay. Let's get the gargoyle out there. My partner also has a gargoyle out there. Wonderful. We are going to get rid of that sun. That sun is going to go down. That's beautiful. And then what we need is we're going to need Whelpex. We're going to need Worgens. Start dealing damage to that Ragnaros. Okay, I'm trying to get to mine a little bit here and there. Drop more Whelpex. Drop more Worgens. Whelpex, Worgens, and Ragnaros goes down. So that was Molten Core in the open queue in March 2025. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.